First time I've ever been up on stage in church. I've only had to do this in my acting series and doing commercials and stuff, and here I am finally, but you don't want to hear me sing, for sure. But I am from Knoxville. I'm from Farragut. Lived in Powell when I was little for 2 years, but then moved on to Farragut. Went to Farragut from kindergarten, or actually first grade, all the way up until I graduated. And have 2 children. Paige, she graduated from the University of Tennessee with a psychology degree. And Seth is at the University of Tennessee. He is working on his a double major. He will be graduating with a construction science degree with a minor in business. And the reason for the construction is because he's lived in construction he's 22. We had a business in construction for 25 years. When I got married, I married a builder from Chicago that built high-rises. And obviously moving to Knoxville, Tennessee, he was like, I can't live in Knoxville, Tennessee. Never going to do it. I'm a Chicago man. And I'm like, well, I've got to live in Knoxville, Tennessee. Well, he came here. He thought it was the best place ever. We started a business a long time ago. And we built homes throughout Knox County. We first started with remodeling. I can remodel. I can pull up a floor. I've done the DIY show, and I actually pulled up floors because I knew how to do it. That's what I did for a living. Then we started building residential homes, $100,000 homes, all the way from 100. Then we went to $200,000 to $1.5 million homes. I designed them. I went out there and picked out the land. I did the business part of it because that's what I knew. I did the computer part of it. We had iPads. We had everything. That's exactly what I'm going to go into. After the building, we had an economy issue, and I ended up going to the property assessor. And there I was an appraiser. I loved my job there. I was like getting in there going, oh, I love this, because, I didn't need to be trained. I already knew how to get out there and do what I did. But my problem was, I got to my desk, and I didn't have a phone, I didn't have an iPad, and I didn't even have a computer. I go, how do you do this job? So, to make a long story short, the job was you pulled out a filing cabinet, I pulled out your card, and there was your parcel. I'm sure you guys know what a parcel is. Well, I was the one that's always running. The kid that's always like, no, I got that B, but I want that A, and you're running after the teacher. I was the one that didn't like to keep my mouth shut. I was like, whoa. I'm like, well, how about if you get me an iPad? How about get me this computer? I need this stuff because when I go out to your property and I measure these homes or I put these houses on the tax road, I want it to be accurate. I don't want to. So I got a pencil and I got a pad, a notepad. So, of course, that wasn't, I didn't like it, but I had to do it. Went out there and drew my houses on. Thank goodness I know how to draw. I had become like an architect, what you would call an architect, being a builder and everything, putting everything on by hand, bringing it back, giving it to somebody. That's not effective for me. So the last property assessor did implement the system. There was one in place, but it was very outdated. He updated it, got it ready, got it out, and started using it. Okay, that was great. iPads are out there, the computer's being used. We actually have a phone, which I wasn't working there at the time. I quit a long time ago. But now, what I'm saying is we need change. We need to bring change into the county building. We need to implement the new technology, and there is a state system that we actually can bring in and use that. They won't have to ask us for the information. It's there. They can look at it every day. So if you get what I'm saying, if I'm asking for the information, then you can't see everything. Everything has to be audited, right? We're audited. You can get audited in taxes. So basically, what I'm saying is I'm looking for change. Why do I want to do this? I have a passion for it. I was in building. I worked for the property assessor's office, and I remember 4 years ago, I said, I'm going to run for property assessor, and I'm going to do it, and I want to come in there and bring change, and I want to give you a fair shake of your taxes. And that way you can say, you know what? Job well done. I know I've got a big job to do, but what the problem is in Knox County, nobody knows the property assessor. They don't know what they do. They actually don't even know who the property assessor is. When you walk up to somebody, you should say, who is the property assessor? You should rattle it off just like that. I promise you, you'll know me in 4 years. Because I volunteer. I'm with Big Brother, Big Sister. I've been with them for 8 years. I volunteer in my church. I'm an usher. I'm a greeter. I'm whatever you want me to be for the day. But I'm asking for your vote. Please vote. I appreciate your vote for Knox County Property Assessor. I will, whatever I say I'm going to do, I do it. I do work in Oak Ridge. I work, I can't tell you really what I do, but I do work in Oak Ridge, and that's where I've learned a lot of my leadership, my skills, my knowledge, and my technology. I appreciate your vote for Knox County Property Assessor. Thank you, and have a good evening. Thank you for having me.
Thank you all for showing up, and I'm glad to be here with you all. I am John Whitehead. I am the property assessor of Knox County. And before I forget, I want to ask for your vote and your support. And also, I want to tell you that I do have the endorsement of the Knoxville Area Association of Realtors. They use the system a lot. My opponent is mistaken about a few things. First of all, that we have a system, a computer system. Now this computer system don't work exactly the way we want it to. So the county and myself looked into new systems. We got a new system we purchased, and it takes a long time to purchase a system in the county. That's just the way government works. We got a state-of-the-art system. It's a cloud-based system. It's on Amazon Cloud. That's the state-of-the-art, best you can get right now. Now, that also is going to take till 2022 till we get it ready. And that is because we have to do a conversion. The conversion consists of moving all the information from one system to another. And if you don't get that conversion right, you don't have anything but a bunch of garbage in the computer system. So it takes a while. Now, is that better? Okay, now we have the computer system in the office. Now my opponent never worked with that system. The system can go into effect until 2012. She was gone, she left the office in 2010. Now when we was looking at systems, we looked at the state system. The state does about 70 counties, but they don't have any county as big as Knox County. Their system would not handle Knox County. She's right. If we could have got that system, the state would have furnished that system to us. But they wanted no part of Knox County. They said, no, you go buy a system. Because Knox County has 200,000 parcels. The biggest county they have has about 50,000 parcels. So it would not handle Knox County. But that would have been, I looked into that the first thing to see if we could get that system. Now, a little about my history. I got out of the Marine Corps in 71. I started working in that office in 1972. I worked in that office 28 years. During that 28 years, I got all the appraisal certifications that you can get on my side. I got the highest certification that you can get. In fact, I got the highest certification of any assessor in the state of Tennessee. And I'm pretty proud of that. There's not much in that office that I haven't done or can do. I have a totally open door policy. You want to come in and talk to the assessor, all you have to do is ask to speak to him. They'll bring you right back to my office. If you make a phone call to that office, you ask to speak to the assessor, he will get on the phone. I think that's important. I get to work about 7:15 every morning. I'm the only one of the candidates that has actually done appraisals. And what I mean by that is, we do two kinds of appraisals in the office. We do mass appraisal. That's the majority of the appraisals. You'd be just surprised how accurate those appraisals are. But we make mistakes. And people think we make mistakes. So they appeal their property. When they appeal the property, we have to do what we call fee appraisal. Just like they do when you buy a house. We use the same forms, and we're actually members of the same organization. We're members of that. I have done hundreds of those. I've won a lot of them, and I've lost a lot of them. But when I was out of office for 8 years, I actually helped the taxpayer. I took 21 cases to the State Board of Equalization. And during that 8 years, all 21 of those cases, I won. Now that's a pretty good record. Now what that does for me, and what that does for the taxpayer, that makes sure I don't get tunnel vision as the assessor. Because I know what the taxpayer's up against. The burden of proof is on the taxpayer when they appeal. No matter how bad our appraisal might turn out to be, when we go into the appeal process, we're considered to be right. So I am experienced at both sides of the appraisal, for the taxpayer and for the county. And all we want is a fair appraisal. If we're wrong, we will change it. So that's important, not to get tunnel vision. We actually admit we're wrong once in a while, and we change it. But I think it's also important to know that this appraisal system, when I got into the office in 2016, it was the one we're using right now. Parts that didn't work. The computer department, Knox County Computer Department, came to me and asked me to push for a new system. So I pushed for the new system. And it took us a couple of years. Because not only does the county have to put $1 million into this system, we have to also get it approved of the state of Tennessee. Because it has to meet their criteria too. So whatever we buy, we have to let them know so they can approve it. The state has 63 counties on the same system we got, except our system is different because there was much smaller systems. But I'm about out of time, and again, I'm going to ask for your vote and your support. Thank you.